Welcome back, everyone, to Mr. Movie Review Tuesday. It's been a really long time since I shot one of these, but with Halloween just around the corner, I decided to shoot one and share my top 10 favorite horror anthology movies. And with me today is someone you haven't seen for a while, my cohort in crime, and we've got a new face here.
This is my cohort in crime.
Yeah. But we're going to go through my top 10 and discuss a little bit about each one. Some of these she knows, some of them she doesn't. But the ones she does, we're going to get her opinion on some of this too. And starting off, we're going to go with number 10 from 2015, Tales of Halloween. Now, is this one you've seen or no?
I attempted to watch it. That should tell you my opinion.
I did do a review for it a while back. Over the years, my opinion on it softened a little bit. I was expecting something something that was kind of as good as like some of the other ones on this list, but
I think I made it 20 minutes into the movie and turned it off.
Now, but the first one, Sweet Tooth, if I had to make a pick, that was my favorite story on the whole movie. Overall, yeah, they weren't the best stories and best anthology, but I've seen better. I've seen worse.
Oh yeah, definitely seen worse.
Yeah. There was one story in there that my opinion still does kind of stand on. Again, I talked about it in my other review about the one with, since you only made it 20 minutes into it, there was a story. It was kind of an Evil Dead, Friday the 13th hybrid. It's pretty gory, it's kind of goofy, but it's watchable. So if you get a chance, you can go back and try and go at least find that story. I mean, overall, not the best, but again, not the worst.
No.
And my next one is from 2019. It's called The Mortuary Collection. Have you seen this one at all?
No.
Okay. The wraparound story in this one, it's about a girl who is trying to get a job at a mortuary, and the mortician there, he's basically kind of telling her stories and stuff like that. I think it was done specifically for Shudder. It was like a specifically streamed on their site or something like that. I think the best story in that one is about a guy who it's hard to say this with her right there, but raw dog and chick. But instead of the chick getting pregnant, he gets pregnant. It's pretty weird to watch, but that was the best. And if I'm not mistaken, like at the end of the story, you find out that the girl interviewing for the mortuary job is like the serial killer or something like that. So I mean, it's a pretty good one as well.
That'd be the job that I want.
Yeah. Yeah. My next one is called Campfire Tales from 1997. The wraparound story in this one is what?
I think I know bits and pieces.
Anyway, the wraparound story with that one is about this group of teenagers. They were going to some concert or something, and they get involved in a car wreck, and they take shelter in this old abandoned church, and they kind of keep themselves busy. They start telling stories like horror stories and that type of thing. But the whole time they keep hearing this noise, and at the end of the movie, you find out what the noise is. It's paramedics and whatnot actually trying to save their life because they don't exactly know that like 3 of the 4 of them have died. Like that's one of those ones I think the wraparound story is actually better than the short stories in the movie itself. But there is a pretty good one. It stars Glenn Quinn from Angel and Roseanne. He takes shelter in this house and he falls in love with some girl. And it's almost like based off of.
I think like I said, I think I knew bits and pieces about that.
Yeah, well, and she wears this necklace, but then when she takes the necklace off, you find out that her father had murdered her and her head's been cut off and that type of thing.
Yeah, I thought I knew bits and pieces.
So that comes in at number 8. Number 7 is called Terror Tract from 2000. This one stars John Ritter, and the wraparound story with it is this, or the basis of the movie is this John Ritter stars as this real estate agent, and he's going around showing this couple these houses. Well, with each house, he tells a story about some death or murder that took place within the house. And, you know, with each one, the couple is like, no. But then you find out at the end of it that he has to sell a house or his wife and son are going to get killed. And so at the end of it, when they refuse to buy a house, he goes ballistic and stabs a guy in the neck with a pin. They get the blood spurt, and then the woman runs out of the house, and he runs out screaming, "This is a nice neighborhood. I grew up here." And then as she's driving away, you see all this mayhem and chaos. Again, the wraparound story is better than the rest of the movie, but that's a pretty good one as well. It's not necessarily a horror as much as it is, especially with John Ritter being a dark comedy.
Yeah, that's more of a comedy.
Yeah, but it's kind of gory. I like it. Number 6 from 1995, Tales from the Hood. Now I know you've seen this one.
Yes.
So what is your takeaway from that one?
To me, that's another comedy, though.
Yeah.
I would say it's. I mean, you've got your horror, your gore, but it's a comedy.
So what was your favorite part of that one, the story wise or whatnot?
I don't really have a favorite.
Again, I liked the wraparound story better with the 4 guys or the 3 gangsters and then going through the funeral home, and then what you find out at the end that they're actually dead and in hell, you know.
I would say now that part, yes, I can say I like that part.
Yeah.
But as far as the individual stories, I don't really.
It's an okay movie. They did make.
Yeah, I mean it's an okay watch. It's just not something that I'm like.
Yeah.
Highly recommended.
Yeah. Now, did you know that they made 2 sequels?
No.
Yeah, they're not good.
I mean, I know they made one called Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror.
Yeah, but no, they made a Hood of Horror. They made a Tales from the Hood 2 and 3, but they're not as good. And I actually thought about putting Hood of Horrors on here, but I didn't because I kind of liked these a little bit better. But I mean, again, there are countless anthology horror movies out there, so I could do another list of this, you know. Number 5 from 1990, we get Tales from the Dark Side. Now, everyone's favorite story is the gargoyle story in that one. Does that hold true for you as well?
For the most part, yeah. It does for me. The gargoyle story is probably my favorite.
The wraparound story was pretty good too, and then definitely the lady who was trying.
Yeah, the lady. Oh my God.
Who was trying to cook the kid? You know, she definitely got what she had coming to her.
I would say that one, yes. That one's why I hesitated on the gargoyle story because I was like, well, but the gargoyle story's better.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's why I hesitated. I was like, well.
I think, but of the 3 individual stories in it, I think it's 3. The gargoyle story is definitely the best one, but the ending where he like tricks her and she gets knocked into the oven. So the wraparound story to me is pretty good on that one as well. Let me see, where were we? Now my next one, it's another kind of obscure one, and I think it was made for Showtime. It's called Body Bags from 1993.
I don't think I know that one.
This one, again, it's not as much as a horror as it is a dark comedy. Most of it's directed by John Carpenter, and he actually has a role in the wraparound story. He plays this really desiccated looking mortician, but at the end you find out he's actually dead. And it's got a lot of well-known, I won't say A-list stars, but it's got a lot of like well-known actors. You get, again, John Carpenter. Wes Craven has an appearance in one of the stories. Robert Carradine, who played in Revenge of the Nerds, is in it. Stacy Keach, David Warner, Roger Corman from those old goofy horror movies is in it.
Oh yeah.
Tom Arnold and Toby Cooper are all in it. So Mark Hamill from Star Wars is in it. Yeah, I mean it's got a lot of well-known actors and whatnot in it. And it's not necessarily a horror movie as much as it is a dark comedy, but it's a great watch. I just recently discovered this one this year. Something that cracked me up though is at the end when you find out that John Carpenter's character is actually a corpse instead of the mortician. You get Toby Hooper and Tom Arnold. They're coming in. They start doing a autopsy on him. But when they're looking away or walk away, he's like, and then when they break out the skill or the head saw, he's like, he's just making these goofy faces, and it would kind of take you out of the movie, but it cracks you up at the same time. So that's definitely one I would recommend. Now, number 3 is from 2007, Trick or Treat.
That one.
I have nothing bad to say about that one.
I have nothing bad to say about that one.
And for me, it's really hard to pick
I cannot pick
favorite
a favorite
story because the whole movie is good.
I would say, I like each individual story and the wraparound in that one. So.
Well, I don't know if you can necessarily say that one has a wraparound because all the stories intertwine and whatnot. I mean, I guess if you had to pick a wraparound, it would be the principal.
Yeah.
Because he kind of has... He does really have sporadic appearances throughout all of the stories. So I guess he would kind of be the wraparound of it. But
I mean, he is in...
Yeah. But the whole movie's good. I think the effects that... of when Anna Paquin morphs into the werewolf, I thought those effects were good. They didn't do... It doesn't look like they did CGI. It looks like they went old school practical effects on that one. It's just so the whole movie to me is just it's one that it may be a Halloween movie, but that's one that I can watch year round. It doesn't have to be Halloween for me to watch that one because it's just a good horror movie. Okay, number 2. This will come 2 and 1 will come as no surprise to anyone. Number 2 from 1997, we have Creepshow 2. Now, there is a Creepshow 3. I don't know if you've seen that one or not.
There's a Creepshow 3, and I hate it. The remote, the bunny. I can't stand the radio. None of it. I'm glad I didn't see it on the list with 1 and 2.
I think if I do a top 10 worst horror anthologies, that one's definitely going to be on it.
Yes.
And there's also the Creepshow series on Shudder. I'm not a big fan of that one.
I haven't attempted that.
But of the entire Creepshow franchise, my favorite story of all of it is on Creepshow 2. And that's Old Chief Woodenhead. I love that story.
Okay, Old Chief Woodenhead is really close for me. But honestly, typical, and I love the Blob and the lake.
There's, especially the guy at the end. To me, all of them are so stupid.
They are, and it's perfect that they're all retarded.
Because, okay, unfortunately, if I'm the 3 people left on the raft when the blobby creature's eating that one chick, I'm gone.
Right then and there, self-preservation.
And then when the one dude finally gets away and outswims it, he's on the beach. I beat you. Why didn't you just get in the car and book it? Or at least run.
I would have just kept running. I wouldn't have worried about the car.
Where's the car? It's back at the lake. No. That was... You just want to pop people's heads like a pimple sometimes. And that's definitely one of them. Like, you finally manage to outswim the creature and you sit there and you just get eaten.
But okay, yes, as far as Old Chief Woodenhead, like I said, it comes awful close for me.
Yeah.
Because I like the taunting throughout that one.
Yeah.
And I mean, the scalping is just...
Yeah, that's... and the cool thing about it is you don't necessarily see the scalping.
No, but it's hanging in his fingers.
Yeah.
You can see the statue later.
So that, and to me, that's definitely my favorite. Like I said, of all the Creepshow franchise, that's my favorite story in the whole thing. But then we get into number one, 1982, the original Creepshow.
Okay, this one's a harder one for me too. But probably, honestly, it would have to be Thanks for the Ride, Lady.
Oh yeah. Was that in one or was that in two?
Was that in two? I thought that was in one. I might have got it mixed up.
I don't know.
I might have got it mixed up.
I'd have to go back and watch it, but I thought that was, I could have sworn that was in part two, but I might be
like
wrong.
I said, I might have got it
But
mixed
still,
up.
still a very good story. Then now that one's creepy.
That
was kind of a skin crawler, right? Like, ooh.
Yeah.
I also love Father's Day from part one. That was a good one.
Where's
my cake? Yeah. Yeah. The Lonesome Death of Georgie Verrill, the story starring Stephen King. That one I wouldn't say as much as a horror. I mean, it's a good story.
Yeah, that was a good story.
But it's not necessarily horror.
No, it's not even really a thriller.
No,
really,
it's not.
So.
You just basically see him turning to grass.
Yeah.
That's more of a tragedy if you ask me.
Yeah, what can you expect from Stephen King? I mean, you knew he was gonna...
Yeah. Well, I mean, Stephen King and George A. Romero, they wrote the original Creepshow.
So...
And then, the one with the bugs.
Bugs.
Just, that is... Especially at the end where they, like, bust out the body and, like...
Yes.
That one just... And what's bad is you, like...
I had a relative... I'm not going to name names, but I had a relative when they would watch that specific part, that they would sit there and go...
Yeah. and you can almost feel them like... there's nothing there, but just subconsciously like...
That one definitely makes your skin crawl.
Yes, it really does. That is not a horror as much as it is an ick factor.
Which one is that?
What's that?
The stairs. And the monster in the crate.
I think that's part one.
Okay, I was trying to remember.
That's part one.
Is that part one?
The crate is what it's called.
Yeah, the crate. I was trying to remember what the name of that one was.
Stars, it has Adrienne Barbeau in it, who also did a cameo in Tales of Halloween as well.
The base story on that one wasn't that great, but I liked the monster in that story.
Yeah.
I didn't like the character story surrounding the monster.
But the monster, the animatronics of what they did for the monster, the special effects was
But I liked the monster in that story.
But I definitely think Creepshow. It's not. I know it's not the original horror anthology, but it is probably without a doubt the best. And Creepshow 2 is a very close second, if you ask me.
Oh yeah.
I think where Creepshow 3 fell off for me is
the whole movie.
The whole movie. Well, you didn't have Stephen King and you didn't have George A. Romero. They didn't have a hand in that one at all. So I honestly think that's where Creepshow 3 fell off.
I mean, okay.
And it was too
don't get me
campy.
Wrong, the sandwich storyline in that one.
Yeah, that one was okay. The one with the hot dog.
Yeah, the hot dog. Okay, that one wasn't so bad. But that's basically the only good story set in that whole movie.
And
to me.
like I said, overall the movie is just corny as hell.
Yes.
And then
there's no horror factor. No. There's not even an ick factor like in the rest of them. You know, like there's nothing.
And then with when they showed do you remember the vampire story or whatever it was?
Yeah.
The vampires looked horrible. And then you had the one with the doctor marrying the corpse or whatever that had been reanimated and it was a bride or whatnot. And the stupid remote story or whatever was just bad. So Creepshow 3 was not good at all.
No.
Well, anything else you'd like to add on these at all to close out? What is your favorite horror movie anthology?
That's a really hard one for me.
What would be your favorite?
Because, I mean, okay, where you put your number on is Creepshow.
Yeah.
To me, 2 is better than 1.
You think 2 is better?
as far as your list goes, I think 2 is better than 1.
Okay.
And like you said, you know, on up.
What are you doing over there?
Tales from the Hood, you know, like I said, I happen to like Snoop Dogg's movie.
Wait, 1 minute, Uncle.
But I also like his other one, his older movie, Bones.
I've never seen that one.
That one's pretty good too.
Now, like I said, I have watched Hood of Horror. I think the one that I probably liked the best in that one, I guess we'll give this as an honorable mention, was the one where the girl was doing artwork.
See, that is my favorite one in that one. I would say, yes, that one is definitely my favorite now. But close, don't meddle, close to that one, I really also like the story where they go to the retirement home with those vets, and they force feed her the caviar so her stomach explodes. That was
pretty good. And I like
them mistreating, the vets. But the payback they got was.
Yeah, I like the song that Snoop did for it too, Hood of Horrors.
I did too.
Or was it Hood? Maybe called Welcome to the Neighborhood, but either way, it was pretty good too.
See, as far as another honorable mention on one that I enjoy is it's. Let's see, what year is that? It's just like a collection of like mini horror movies. Like the stories have no loop over whatsoever. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
You're not talking about Bad Candy, are you?
I can't remember the name of that one. But like I said, none of the stories connect in it at all.
What were some of the? Do you remember some of the stories that was in it?
This dude become a snake.
Became a snake?
I don't remember. I mean, it sounds familiar, but I
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I remember bits and pieces, but it's not coming to the surface.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember later when this is all void.
I'll do some research to see if I can find it, but.
But yeah, like I said, that's the story in that one I remember is it's like the farm or something, and it's the scientist and his daughter. Well, he ends up turning the dude into a snake.
Yeah, Oh God, I remember what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it is.
I can't either.
Because when he exposes it, he's like a snake-human hybrid looking thing.
Yes.
I can't remember what that is.
It's a snake.
See, now I'm gonna have to look that one up and watch it. Wow, now I gotta check that. I gotta figure out because I think the story itself was called something like or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even think about that one, but I didn't even look at that one until you brought it up. But,
I said I couldn't remember the name of, but it was just that collection. That's the one that came to mind. As far as.
So I'm gonna have to look that one up and tell you guys what it is. But I guess that's it for this episode. I'm gonna start trying to shoot more of these and putting out my little 2 cents in movies and stuff like that. You'll probably see Brittany more because she's about as big into movies and whatnot as I am. But that's
we have no life.
Pretty much, yeah. But that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.